back to watching Aljazeera. Let's recap our headlines now. A court in Cairo has sentenced 6 people to death, having been found guilty of leaking state secrets to Qatar. 2 of those sentenced to death are Al Jazeera journalists. Jailed former leader Mohammed Morsi's case was adjourned. Al Jazeera rejects Egypt's allegations the network was collaborating with Morsi's elected government. Russia says a ceasefire in the Syrian city of Aleppo is being extended for 72 hours. The cessation of hostilities brought a brief respite for some. The fighting continues outside the city. Firefighters battling a blaze in Western Canada say it could double in size by the end of Saturday. Thousands of people are being airlifted from Fort McMurray. Many more are leaving by road. It's the last day of campaigning in the Philippines before voters choose a new president on Monday. People in the country's south say they want a leader who will deal with security issues and the territorial dispute with China. Sohail Rahman reports from Davao City on the island of Mindanao.
Fisherman Rogelio Libra says earning a living is becoming more difficult by the day. He casts his nets over hundreds of square kilometers off the South China Sea. Safety and security at sea is a major concern. Muslim rebels have threatened and killed fishermen. They're also accused of trespassing in disputed territorial waters and are being confronted by Chinese warships. The area to fish in safely is rapidly decreasing.
I am hoping the next president will tighten the security of the seas in our area to protect the people and fishermen by this coast.
Mindanao has suffered decades of ethnic conflict. Government leaders signed peace accords with the main Muslim faction in 2014, but have not been ratified by Congress. The next president will have to finish what was started by President Benigno Aquino and deal with other Muslim splinter groups and resurgent communist rebels threatening to derail the fragile peace. Vincent Lau is a local developer and a crime victim. Local gangs extorted money from his and other small businesses in Davao several years ago. Frustrated by the lack of police action, they turned to Mayor Rodrigo Duterte for help. In turn, he cleaned up the city.
It's a very classic example of what can happen in an area if you are enjoying relative peace and security. So you have progress coming in, investment coming in, you have malls and infrastructure being put up.
The public supports security initiatives, but want more.
Peace and order. We want peace and order as well as employment. I want to see young people get work.
Security and stability are a huge concern to a large majority of the Filipino public. The new president cannot ignore the importance of peace and security nationally, least of all here on the island of Mindanao. Vincent and Rogelio are hoping for a president who keeps his word and makes sure that while peace and prosperity are pursued, so is a politically stable environment, one where they can continue to earn a living.
And Sohail Rahman joins us now live from the capital, Manila. So we understand campaigning what's just wrapped up there with a controversial figure still the front runner, so?
Indeed, Sammy, yes. The 16th general election campaigning has ended. Those polls will open on Monday morning, and all the politicians can do now is wait and hope that they will be elected into office. And yes, for the presidential race, we've been following, as has most of the Filipino media, Rodrigo Duterte. He is the incumbent mayor of Davao City, from where I just reported from in that report there. And he is seen really as a very tough guy with a tough approach to crime, law and order. He's cleaned up Davao over the last 25 years, and he says he can do that nationally. He, along with Grace Poe is a senator, she's an independent, well thought of, a clean politician, so many say, and they are the two front-runners in the presidential race. As far as the vice presidential race is concerned, Lenny Robredo comes from the incumbent government party, the Liberal Party. She's the anointed nominee there. She's leading the polls along with Ferdinand Marcos Jr. He's the son of the former military dictator, Ferdinand Marcos, who ruled this country in the 70s and 80s and was much criticised for the way he handled the public, deemed corrupt, and had many accusations of human rights violations against him. They seem to be the two in the lead for the vice presidential post.
And those people perhaps outside the Philippines struggle to understand the direction this campaign has taken, why Duterte has done so well and so on. You have to really look at themes like security, the economy and corruption to understand why, right sir?
Indeed, Sammy, I think that what the Filipino public have really focused in on is politics keeping their word. They have felt that
Ito mo, Pilipinas, sikat sa aljazeera. Oh. Yan ang headline sa kanila. Puta sa sikat si Duterte dyan. Sa aljazeera. Ay. Duterte! Oh! Meron pa oh. Oo nga, hindi ka natapos eh. Biglang lumabas si Duterte sa aljazeera eh. Yan oh. Eh, hindi ko na yung malak na yan. Papalis na yan. Duterte! Duterte! Duterte!
In and out the last 3 months, and you ask a taxi driver, a shopkeeper, a bank worker, an executive in every station, he really seems to care, he really seems to want to change things. The establishment here in Manila has had a stranglehold on looking after themselves and looking after the rest of the people across 7,000 islands, this archipelago that calls itself the Philippines. Whether he catches that public sentiment and whether he is able to translate what he is saying into votes on Monday will be very interesting, because there is also a thought that there are many undecided voters here, and they may look at what he is saying alongside what Grace Poe is saying, who's a very respected senator. She seemed to be a more conservative politician with a more candid and considered approach to the way policy should be handled and executed. They may wobble, they may go towards Grace Poe, they may go to Mar Rojas, who is from the Liberal Party and part of the government. It's very uncertain at the moment, but certainly the polls are suggesting that Rodrigo Duterte is potentially a presidential vote winner.
All right, time will tell. Thanks so much, Sir Haran. In the UK, London has elected its first Muslim mayor.